Joey Halzle gets promoted from within. I think it's a good sign for Tennessee's football program that they want to bring people up in the coaching staff. However, it doesn't get you a lot of love nationally. And there was an article recently about coaching additions and moves throughout the SEC and beyond. And Caleb, Joey Halzle didn't get much love. Your thoughts?
Yes, so this was naming the 23 biggest impact hires in coaching by 247 Sports, just in general, 23 biggest impact hires. And it could be head coaches and assistants. Joey Halzle was left off. I think he was left off because a lot of people believe this is Josh Heupel's offense. So their thought process is things aren't going to change much with Joey Halzle in there. So it's not an impact, good or bad. So a few names he had on here from the SEC, just to give you guys a little bit of context. Liam Cohen at Kentucky. I'd have to argue that is a bigger hire. I mean, Mark Stoops is a defensive guy. Kentucky had a big drop-off last year without Liam Cohen. So I'd have to argue that is a bigger deal than Joey Halzle. And a few others, you look at, funny enough, Alex Golish to become USF head coach is on here. But Bobby Petrino to Texas A&M, again, that's a bigger assistant hire. That's a bigger impact assistant hire than Joey Halzle. Not for the better, but it is going to have a bigger impact in general. And then Tommy Rees to Alabama. Look, half the reason I don't believe in Alabama long term is because I don't think Tommy Rees was the best hire possible as far as an assistant goes. And not even on here, but I think Mike Bobo to Georgia and Dan Enos to South Carolina are bigger impact hires, but in the negative way. So I think that what they see with Halzle is there's no really change in direction one way or the other with the hire of Joey Halzle.
So give me the rest of the ones, your thoughts of the guys that stand out to you in terms of good hires, not so great hires.
Across the ones that are ahead?
Yes.
Okay, so sticking with the SEC, Liam Cohen, Kentucky, good hire. I think that's a good hire. They needed him back. He struggled a lot last year without him, even though Mel Kiper thought Will Levis was like a Heisman contender last year without. But that's beside the point. I think that's a good hire. But I'm sorry, Dan Enos was to Arkansas. Excuse me. Dan Enos to Arkansas, not a good hire. I think that's that hire. I think you're going to see Sam Pittman start to struggle even more with that hire. Mike Bobo to Georgia, it's a bad hire. I'm not even going to say not a good hire. That's a bad hire. From Todd Monken to Mike Bobo, massive drop off.
Well, now you've gotten a little pushback on that, and I'm gonna say this about Bobo. They had a pretty good offense at Colorado State. Are we too easily dismissing Bobo because he is more of a traditional type of coach than maybe a Josh Heupel or a Sonny Dykes or a Lincoln Riley?
I don't think so. I really don't. I think the offense at Colorado State was actually really, really overrated. If you look at the numbers, Jim McElwain's offense was much better when he was at Colorado State before Mike Bobo was hired to replace him. And so, I mean, we're talking, his first year there, I'm pulling it up. His first year there, they had the 58th offense, either the 28th offense, the 31st offense. 1 year they had the 108th ranked offense, and then the 71st offense. So they never had a top 25 offense at Colorado State. And I know it's more traditional, but when you're at that lower level, if you're an offensive mind, you should have a top 25 offense nationally. You just should. And so I really question Mike Bobo's abilities as a coach. And by the way, Mike Bobo was the offensive coordinator when Will Muschamp got fired. So there's that.
No, I mean, I think Mike Bobo is a solid hire, but he's just not a spectacular hire.
Oh, I think it's a bad hire.
I'm bad altogether.
Okay, bad altogether. Tennessee fans should love the fact that Georgia hired him.
Yeah, and Travis points out I see a picture of McElwain with a shark. Yeah, I can't really ever get over that as well, which is a troubling image.
I trust the shark to be an offensive coordinator over Mike Bobo.
The actual shark or McElwain?
The actual shark. The actual shark. The actual shark.
So with Joey Halzle, let's take a look at that hire for a second. We all kind of jump on board and say everything's going well. That sure, that's a great hire from within. It makes a lot of sense. But are we oversimplifying that at all, Caleb? Should Josh Heupel have gone outside of his sphere and looked for another coach that could add things to what Tennessee is currently doing?
No, I don't think so. He knows his offense and he knows what he wants to run, and no one's caught up with it yet. He should just stick with it. And Josh Heupel promotes from within in a way that Fulmer tried to promote from within, but I don't really think Fulmer knew what he was doing a lot of times when he promoted from within. I think Fulmer was promoted out of loyalty over out of qualifications. Again, I go back to the Randy Sanders moment where I'm like, yeah, I know you want to promote from within, but you should have known that Randy Sanders is not an offensive coordinator. You should have known that from the start. He was a running backs coach. And I think Josh Heupel knows the roles for the guys he promotes from within.
Well, I definitely think that Philip Fulmer should have known. I thought at the time Randy Sanders was a very good hire. I look at Joey Halzle, and I think that elevating him to that position of the offensive coordinator makes a lot of sense. To bring somebody else in when it's Josh Heupel's offense makes zero sense to me.